What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JT, and we are back to the Crypto Den. I want to thank you all for tuning in for kind of another depressing topic, but important to know. BRICS versus NATO. And I'll finish it off with how BRICS versus NATO also feels about crypto. But first, we're going to talk about the economic superpowers that is looking like a World War III Axis versus Allied powers situation. This geopolitical tension, I think, might be alleviated by Trump being in office. Big sick diplomacy has worked for us so far. We'll see how he does. But I want people to know where the teams are at right now, and I think it's important. I got some cool little graphics. Let you guys come to your own conclusions, but these are the data. I just bring the data. I bring the facts, tell you what I think about the data, and then let you all come to your own decisions. Not advice. Okay, these are opinions. Before I get into it, my name is Jake Tullis. I also go by JT. I have 10 years of software development experience, and I run a crypto hedge fund called Bleeding Edge Capital. This channel is where I publish my research, and it's really that simple. Today, we're talking about my geopolitical research and trying to understand the likelihood of World War III, the likelihood of conflicts growing, because that will always impact the markets. And I need to be in front of the market movements. And this is where we talk about it. I've talked about the banks. I've talked about the FDIC and the Fed. We've looked at my friend Fred plenty of times here on this channel. Just go back and look. Today we're now going to go super high level and just look at the countries and kind of place our bets, I guess. I mean, obviously, I'm in America, and we've been the reigning empire my entire lifetime, and I feel like we're on the back half of that. So I hope not. Pray to God not. But we will see. Okay, let's get over to it. So the basic comparison we're doing is BRICS versus NATO. The YouTube title wasn't clear. NATO is basically an organization of European nations plus America and other countries that are all friends since the last World War, essentially, and we all vow to help each other monetarily with troops, although the U.S. does 80% of that, which you will see. And BRICS is this new economic bloc started in 2013. It stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And there are a lot more countries joining BRICS. BRICS' main goal is to remove the US dollar as the single, reserve currency of the world. I don't know I have a theory of what they want to do, and I'll show you another thing like that. And I also just made a video about it, but it's just a theory. Who knows? Either way, they are done with the US dollar, and they are recruiting other countries that have been bullied by us using the US dollar through sanctions and, the IMF not getting any help and just crazy things that we've done over the years. And they're doing a pretty good job. So, sorry, this is our research with the sources and things. Right here's the militaries. This is just Russia and China versus all of NATO. You can see that we're kind of chilling there. Well, first let's actually here. This is the map right now. Applied to BRICS or hosting Chinese military bases. I mean, guys, that's pretty close to America, don't you think? And then member of NATO or aspiring to join NATO. Okay, and then there's actual members of BRICS in the red. Take a look at this. This is like very scary. BRICS is recruiting a decent amount of countries. A decent amount. The purple's like they're staying out of it. I think that's what multipolar means, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not much of a political scientist, so I don't know what that means. But you can see here that there's a lot of countries signing up to say, I'm done dealing with America and the dollar. Just China and Russia are half of NATO in active personnel. If you were to add all of these countries up, they do have more military personnel. Um, Obviously, like the United States is the largest player. I mean, look at that. God. America's GDP is crazy. Entrepreneurs really do be wrecking it here. Um, but this is the GDP as well, you know? Like, we have a lot of these countries right here. These are some of the ones that are a part of BRICS, and all of them are in the middle, like the basically where we have been the most awful, we are seeing BRICS, and it really is a war against the dollar. And if I were to go to my least favorite site, but glad it exists, this is the website that shows you the progress of CBDCs in countries. So if we go look at this and this, you'll start seeing a lot of similarities. So purple, yellow, and blue is what we're looking for, right? And then we're then looking for red and versions of red. Look at this. See? So what all that means is BRICS is recruiting to take down the dollar. And that's how they really, in 2013, when they started, that was their thing. Those five countries got together. They are a big part of the oil trade globally, and they said, soon, OPEC, like in the next decade, OPEC is going to be able to settle oil trade, not in US dollars. And they've been working on relationships in the Middle East because we've been just basically an abusive housewife to that whole area. Or, I'm sorry, an abusive husband to a housewife in that entire area. And they've been laying the groundwork and building and building and building. And for the first time this year, OPEC is done with their 50-year agreement to settle oil trade in US dollars. So now the US dollar is not being used exclusively in oil. It's around 70% of the oil trade now, but BRICS is moving in. And they are further along in CBDC technology. So I have a feeling that they are going to launch all at the same time a network of countries with CBDCs that trade value. And if you're not on their platform, you won't be able to exchange in their goods. And we're going to see the US dollar be challenged in a way that you really could never anticipate. And CBDCs, I just made a video about that. It's going to be out. They are essentially private blockchains. So it's like a new database for money, and it'll be completely controlled and federated by the governments that host them. So it's a completely private permission chain. You have no rights unless they give them to you, and they control every token on the network and its movement and behavior, and they can program the tokens to basically do whatever they want. It's a really scary future, but it looks like it's coming down the pipe. Unless World War III resets the world order and somehow NATO ends up on top and crushes BRICS economically and basically doesn't let them get out of the gate. It's our best probability is having a red sweep, and that's what happened. So I'm glad that happened here, but there's still a lot of concerns, y'all. So, just pray. We can't control it. Don't let it ruin your day. Just be aware of where we're headed. BRICS versus NATO is looking to cook up to be the Axis and Allied version of World War II. And I think it's all about money. Like everything, it's all about money, and life is so much more than that. So, don't get caught up in it. Take care of one another, okay? And until next time, peace and love.